My dress. I can't go in this dress. Can you mend it?
Mend it? No, I'll turn it into something new.
Oh, no, please don't. This was my mother's, and I'd like to wear it when I go to the palace. It's almost like taking her with me.
I understand. But she wouldn't mind if I cheered off of it? Wouldn't mind a nice blue?
What's up, global citizens? I'm Ollie, and today we are learning English with the classic story of Cinderella. Now, there are many different versions of this fairy tale, but one of the most well-known is the animation from Disney from the 1950s. And did you know that in 2015 it was made into a movie? If you've seen this movie, let me know in the comments below. In this lesson, we're going to watch two scenes from the 2015 movie, and I'm going to teach you some vocabulary. And then at the end, you're going to have the opportunity to watch the two scenes without subtitles, and I'm going to quiz you with some questions. So make sure you watch all of this lesson to test yourself at the end. But before we get started, I want to tell you that we help you understand fast English without getting lost, without missing the jokes, and without subtitles. Just ask Anna Victoria, who says she is now watching movies without subtitles. So take your English to the next level like Anna Victoria. It's really simple. All you need to do is hit that subscribe button and the bell down below so you don't miss any of our new lessons. Cinderella tells the story of an orphan girl who is made a servant by her stepmother and stepsisters. One day, the king invites all the single ladies in the kingdom to come to a ball so that the prince can choose one to be his wife. In hopes to attend the ball, Cinderella, along with the help of the house mice, fix an old dress of her late mother. But then...
To ruin anything. I don't even want to meet the prince.
Oh, and you won't. Because there's no question if you're going.
But all of the maidens of the land are invited, by order of the king.
It is the king I am thinking of. It would be an insult to the royal personage to take you to the palace dressed in these old rags.
Rags? This was my mother's.
Oh, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but your mother's taste was questionable. This thing is so old-fashioned, it's practically falling to pieces. Oh, the shoulder's frayed. Oh, it's falling to bits.
Alice! It's a ridiculous old-fashioned joke.
How could you?
How could I otherwise? I will not have anyone associate my daughters with you. It would ruin their prospects to be seen arriving with a ragged servant girl. Because that is what you are, and that is what you will always be. Now mark my words. You shall not go to the ball.
I don't want to ruin anything. I don't even want to meet the prince.
Oh, and you won't. Because there's no question if you're going.
But all of the maidens of the land are invited, by order of the king.
Maiden is a word used to describe an unmarried young woman. Cinderella is a beautiful and kind maiden. Because of that, her stepmother keeps Cinderella as busy as she can, fearing she will be the center of attention at the ball and her daughters won't be able to have the chance to meet the prince. So when she says, "This is no question if you're going," she means that there's no chance, no possibility of her going to the ball.
I must find the maiden that belongs to that sweet voice!
Oh no, come back, sire! No, you're...
Personage is used to describe distinct, famous, or important people, such as the king. When speaking about the importance of the event, Cinderella's stepmother disdains her dress, calling it old rags. Rags is a word used to refer to clothes that are visibly old and torn, like these.
Mother, I don't see why everybody else seems to have such nice things to wear, and I always end up in these old rags.
Another way of using this word is in the expression from rags to riches. This means that someone who grew up in poverty now has great wealth. We can even use it to describe Cinderella's story. Cinderella is a rags to riches tale of a servant girl who becomes a princess.
Sorry to have to tell you, but your mother's taste was questionable. This thing is so old-fashioned, it's practically falling to pieces. The shoulder's frayed. It's falling to bits.
It's a ridiculous old-fashioned joke.
If someone has questionable taste, it means the things that this person likes or wears are not socially acceptable or are quite different and distinct from everyone else. So when Cinderella's stepmother says that her dress is so old-fashioned, she means that her dress is not contemporary and that Cinderella's style is not fashion in modern-day society. You can also use old-fashioned to describe someone who has old and outdated ideas.
Slow down, baby, please. Look, I believe it's healthy to get to know someone over a long period of time. You know, just call me old-fashioned, you know. I don't want to rush into a physical relationship. I'm not...
The shoulder's frayed.
Frayed is used to describe clothes that are worn at the edges, especially if they are old or were worn many times. You use falling to pieces or falling to bits to describe something that is being physically ruined. The stepmother and the sisters say this as they destroy Cinderella's dress. However, you can also use this expression when someone is emotionally unstable or very upset.
My hula career is falling to pieces, and you're worried about stinking work?
How could you? How could I otherwise? I will not have anyone associate my daughters with you. It would ruin their prospects to be seen arriving with a ragged servant girl. Because that is what you are. And that is what you will always be.
How could you is a phrase used to express surprise or strong disapproval of another person's behavior or actions.
Dear. Oh, how frightfully upsetting. Had I but known.
What do you mean?
Sadly, the boy's sentence has already been carried out.
What sentence?
Death. By beheading.
No.
I am exceedingly sorry, Princess.
How could you?
I will not have anyone associate my daughters with you.
What does associate mean in this context? A, to connect. B, to compete. C, to agree. That's right. To be associated with someone is to be connected and to have a relationship with that person. It could be a family, friend, or business relationship. Cinderella's stepmother says that by having her daughters connected to her would ruin the girl's chances of becoming a part of the royalty. The reason for that is because Cinderella is a servant, that is, someone who does domestic services for another person. Servant is not a common word these days, so you will hear servants being referred to as attendants or domestic workers.
Her stepmother and stepsisters ever misused her. And by, they considered Ella less a sister than a servant.
Now mark my words. You shall not go to the ball.
Shall is quite a formal word used to say that something certainly will or must happen. For example, your English teacher might tell you to do your homework. You could say, I shall do it. You are therefore telling your teacher that you will definitely do it. It is important to note that shall is quite an old-fashioned word.
Shall we?
Ball is a large social gathering for dancing. Cinderella's stepmother wants to make clear that she won't allow Cinderella to go to the ball, so she says, mark my words. This expression can be used when you want the person to pay attention and remember what you are saying.
By the unholy powers vested in me, I banish you with a curse. Mark my words. You and your family will die within a fortnight.
If you love Disney movies, then make sure you check out this playlist. We've made lessons with Ratatouille, Maleficent, Soul, and much more. So, despite her stepmother forbidding her to go to the ball, Cinderella is helped by the house animals and the fairy godmother and eventually makes it to the ball. Importantly, she must return to her house by midnight. Otherwise, the people at the ball will realise that she is not a royal personage. And can you imagine? Her stepmother would be outraged if she sees her there. While at the ball, she dances with the prince. However, when the clock strikes 12, she runs out of the palace, leaving behind only a crystal slipper.
Who are you?
I am Cinderella. Your Majesty, I'm no princess. I have no carriage, no parents, no dowry. I do not even know if that beautiful slipper will fit, but if it does, will you take me as I am? An honest country girl who loves you.
Of course I will. But only if you will take me as I am. An apprentice still learning his trade. Please. Who are you?
I am Cinderella. Your Majesty, I'm no princess. I have no carriage, no parents, no dowry.
Cinderella had no one to look after her, and she also had no access to her family's money as her stepmother made her a servant. For that reason, she couldn't offer anything of value to their marriage. In some cultures it was, and still is, customary for the bride's, the woman's, family to pay an amount of money or give a property to the prospective husband prior to marriage. This is called dowry.
Oh, look at these shoes. Where did you get these?
They're Danielle's dowry for her wedding.
Cinderella married.
I do not even know if that beautiful slipper will fit.
Cinderella's glass slippers are an important part of the story. As she loses one in a hurry to leave the ball before midnight, the shoe becomes the only piece of evidence for the prince to find her. The slippers, in this context, are easy to wear shoes. Nowadays, you can use the word slippers to describe these types of shoes. Did you notice that she didn't contract the words do and not? You can hear the word do and not clearly. As the story is set in the past, they speak in a quite posh way. You can also hear how she connects the T from not with the E from even. But in connected fast speech, these two words often become one word, don't. Americans tend to omit the T sound in a sentence, so they would probably say, I don't even know, and they would connect the N sound with the E from even. I don't even know. Compare how the word don't is pronounced differently in these examples.
Shut up. You're gonna get in. Don't even pretend to think otherwise.
You don't even realize how lucky you are never to know what it is to grow old.
But if it does, will you take me as I am? An honest country girl who loves you.
Country is the region away from the big cities. Country girl then refers to a girl from a rural, pastoral area.
So I'm a country girl, I love the trees and the flowers.
Here, Cinderella reminds the prince that she's poor and not sophisticated like other young women from the court. That's why she says, "Take me as I am," which means accept me for who I am. This is said often in the context of a romantic relationship to tell the other person that you might not have all the qualities and characteristics she or he expects. If you want to learn more about connected speech, then I highly recommend our Fluent with Friends course. In this 48-week course, you're going to learn with the first 2 seasons of Friends. Each week, you will receive PDF power lessons, vocabulary memorization software, lifetime access to our Fluency Circle global community, and so much more. To learn more, all you need to do is click up here or down in the description below.
Of course I will. But only if you will take me as I am. An apprentice still learning his trade. Please.
Trade is used to refer to a job that demands special training. An apprentice is a person who is still learning from a more experienced person the skills to perform a certain job. Common trade jobs include a carpenter, an electrician, a mechanic, etc.
But you're no apprentice.
I am an apprentice monarch, still learning my trade.
Oh, gosh.
Besides, my master has me working tonight.
Then go to Da Vinci. Surely a painter can see another painter.
I am but an apprentice, sir, and he is the greatest painter in the world.
But only if you will take me as I am.
Here, we have 2 examples of how words can link together. First, you can notice that he connects the words but and only, making it sound but only. The word but will often connect with the next word if it starts with a vowel sound. Note that in American English it sounds more like this, but only. The T sound becomes a D sound. Try to say these sentences connecting but with the words that come next. Repeat after me. I may come with you, but I'm not sure. He tried reading this novel, but after a while he gave up. I'm trying to help, but if she doesn't say, I'll never know. Did you notice how my Australian pronunciation is similar to American pronunciation? While Brits would say, but only, for Americans and Australians, the T becomes a flap T, which sounds like a D sound. But only. Try and say it. But only. Then we have the word as connecting with I, becoming as I. Notice that although as is spelled with S, this letter sounds like Z, as. Pronouncing it with an S sound may cause some confusion because the word arse means something completely different. Alrighty, do you remember at the start I said you're going to have a quiz? Well, it's time for that. So we're going to watch the 2 scenes again without subtitles, and there's going to be a couple of questions in there that you will need to answer. Let me know if you get all the questions correct down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell down below so you don't miss any of our new lessons.
I don't want to ruin anything. I don't even want to meet the prince.
Oh, and you won't. Because there's no question if you're going.
But all of the maidens of the land are invited, by order of the king.
It is the king I am thinking of. It would be an insult to the royal personage to take you to the palace dressed in these old rags.
Rags? This was my mother's.
Oh, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but your mother's taste was questionable. This thing is so old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned is the opposite of A. Outdated, B. Contemporary, C. Unfinished.
It's practically falling to pieces. The shoulders, Frank.
No way you're leaving home wearing this frayed shirt. Which picture best represents the meaning of frayed?
It's falling to bits. It's a ridiculous old-fashioned joke.
How could you? How could I otherwise? I will not have anyone associate my daughters with you. It would ruin their prospects to be seen arriving with a ragged servant girl. Because that is what you are. And that is what you will always be. Now mark my words. You shall not go to the ball.
Who are you?
I am Cinderella. Your Majesty, I'm no princess. I have no carriage, no parents, no dowry. I do not even know if that beautiful slipper will fit, but if it does, will you take me as I am? An honest country girl who loves you.
Of course I will. But only if you will take me as I am. An apprentice still learning his trade.
What would be another word for trade? A. Task. B. Hobby. C. Job.
I never hung out with you in the afternoon like this, and this lighting, man, oh man, you look disgusting. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how you get me to fall for that egg-shaped head every morning.
Whoa, all I have to do is slide on my designer jeans and just kind of wiggle in front of you. You go nuts.